Good morning, Spurs fans. Today's video, we are going to be looking at a mid-season analysis, a SWOT analysis of the Spurs season so far. Before we get started, do not forget to like and subscribe to this channel. It feels great to see the channel grow, so anything you guys can do is very, very much appreciated, and that's just simply clicking the like and subscribe button. So before we get into it, just to recap, the Spurs have definitely been struggling as of late. They had a pretty tough loss yesterday to Miami. In Miami, I think I saw a stat that said they were up by 15 and ended up being down by 20 something at some point, 24, I think. So it was tough. It was a road game, but nonetheless, losses like that are pretty inexcusable. You have to lock that down. And we'll talk about some of the things why I think that is going on, specifically with the coaching situation. But looking at our analysis first, if you look at the top, we are 19 and 22 so far with the season. Now, the good news is that this time last year, we were 7 and 35. If someone has another record, please correct me. I had to generate it real quick, but considerably better, but nonetheless still struggling. I'm sorry. I did 42 games whenever it should be 41. So one game off, maybe 7 and 34 or 6 and 34 or 6 and 35. Who knows? Anyway, the first strength is going to be, of course, our player Victor Wembanyama. We are not focused only on him, but we do understand that he is the NBA's future icon. So we are, able to have him on the team, thankfully. So we need to understand that we have the piece that everybody wants. So that's a strength. His growth and development has been great. His attitude and humility has been great. Just seems to be a lot more along than what his age would entail, both, on a playing standpoint and on a personal standpoint from the little that I've seen. So that's a strength. The timing is also a strength that I am a believer in. So, the timetable, I should say, we have a good timetable. We have a timetable that is very on our side. Most of our players are young. Most of our players are developing and getting good minutes for moments that we're going to hope down the road are going to be big time. And we'll get into that in a little bit more. And then, this was a tough one for me. But I would say that one of our strengths is our ball movement. I do believe that when the Spurs are moving, that is when they are best, when they are, fast break opportunities, which entails defense as well. But when they're moving the ball quick, as we know the Spurs like to do, dating back to, the Tim Duncan era, that's what we need. I remember Pop saying they had a drill, or Tony saying that they had like half a second to make a decision, and they had to make a decision whether it be pass, shoot, or drive in themselves. So I hope they're still doing that. Of course, Pop has not been there, and I know Mitch is kind of doing his own routines, I'm sure, but we need ball movement, and we're doing it well. When we're moving the ball, we play it really well as a team. All right, so getting into the weaknesses. Shooting, I do believe, is a weakness, not of every player on our team, but overall, I believe that we do have some issues with shooting. Julian is a great shooter. Victor is a good shooter. Chris Paul is a good shooter. Devin Vassell can be a good shooter, but it's just not consistent. We don't, we can go on runs where it's like, man, we can't buy a bucket. So I think it's important that we look for shooting, whether it be in the draft or around the league. Whoever we get has to be a good shooter. That's in my opinion a non-negotiable, and of course defense. So with that being said, next, I think that we are quote unquote overstocked. I think that our team has a lot of pieces that are having trouble. Not trouble, but there's not a fit for everybody. You look at Trey Jones, you look at Blake Wesley, especially at the guard position. Malachi Branham. I mean, these are guys that have been getting consistent minutes their first couple of years, and now they're not. So that's a change in just what we're used to, where before we were kind of hoping, hey, where's that guard that's going to step up? Well, we have Steph Castle now and Chris Paul. So, and then draft capital moving forward, we might get more guards. So where do some of these pieces fit? Zach Collins, I mean, he's just kind of just sitting on the bench. I mean, let's be honest. 3 is our limited experience. Oops, sorry. Yes, so 3 is going to be experience. I'll just put experience. I hope we go to the playoffs. I hope we can make a run somehow. But if we do get there, we have limited experience. Other than Chris Paul, I don't think anybody on our team's played a single playoff game. I don't, fact check me on Keldon, because I know he's been with us for a minute, dating back to, DeRozan and whatnot. I don't even know if we made the playoffs. Anyway, it's a weakness. Not only is it from a player standpoint, but from a coaching standpoint. We don't know if Pop is going to come back, but Mitch Johnson and the team, I know Brett Brown is on the sideline with some experience, but it's tough. Experience goes a long way, not only in sports, but in pretty much anything. So we need to just be aware that could be a growing pain, and I'm not sure what the certainty is on Mitch Johnson taking the reins, or if Pop will be back, what that situation is, but nonetheless, I think we have to find some more experience. We have Chris Paul, we have Harrison, so that's a good start, I guess. Opportunities. Love talking about opportunities, and that's going to start with draft capital, right? Meaning we have the opportunity to make our own selections and find players in the draft, or we use those picks to trade for, a superstar or somebody of elite caliber playing, shooting, defense, Klay Thompson. I don't know. It just comes to mind. Let me know what you guys think about Klay Thompson coming to the Spurs. I know he's older, but man, that shooting sounds appealing. There's a lot of prospects coming up in the drafts, especially this next one, 2025. But I mean, the Spurs have at least 2 or 3 picks till like 2030, 2031, and we're just getting more. So that's an opportunity for us to continue to build. Timing, I won't talk too much about that, but I do believe timing is an opportunity, right? Because we're so young. We are so young, and we're getting better. So that's great. And then the last one is, success. I know that sounds kind of cliche, but we have an opportunity to rebuild what we did from 1999 to, 2016, really. We have that opportunity. We have the best player in the league, the most, or the potential to be the best of all time, really. I think LeBron and Jordan will always be in that conversation, but Wemby can add himself, depending on how this goes. But he says he wants to win championships. He says he wants to be one of the greatest of all time. So we are going to run with that. That's an opportunity for the Spurs to be back on the elite level that they were on for so long, up there with the New England Patriots, Tom Brady and stuff like that. So now threats, not easy to talk about, but, the growth of certain players. And, the Spurs have always been notorious for developing, their players, their youth. So this is kind of different for us. But I just feel like certain players, Keldon Johnson, Devin Vassell, they're growing, but in my opinion, I thought their ceiling would be higher. And I know it's early. Devin Vassell, I believe, is 24 years old, maybe not even that. I get it. He's a young NBA player, but we're ready. I mean, we really are. And maybe we don't have the experience and all that, but if you put elite players around Victor, I think the Spurs are a championship team. I really do. I think Victor's at that level. And I know we can't focus solely on him, but again, earlier in the video, we do have to revolve around him. He's a different basketball player than anybody's ever seen. Unicorn, alien, whatever you want to call him. So we need players that are also kind of going along with that trajectory. I just don't see that from certain players on the team, and even just the way they play with each other. I mean, I love Devin, I really do, but the mistakes sometimes are like, dude, pass the ball. You're just dribbling off your foot and it goes out of bounds. I know I'm not an NBA player, easier said than done, but those are decisions that I think by now we would be able to make. The next one is going to be, Wemby's success. If I don't want to be pessimistic, but if it doesn't happen, is there a place where he would consider going to make it happen? We're not going to talk a lot about that because we're a positive Spurs channel here. So we are going to not to talk too much about that. And then the last one is the coaching situation / player trade talks. I am a firm believer that the team is best kept when things are in-house, when things are managed by a team, just the team. So the situation with coaching is difficult with who's going to do it. Is it interim? Is he official? But I think they need to figure that out sooner rather than later. And I really do think that these trade talks need to be put to rest. I'm the first one to talk because I just made a video not too long ago saying, titles trade Devin. So I understand how it can be a conversation, right? And it's interesting to dive into, well, who's available. But, and it can also, I believe, be a hindrance to that cohesiveness of the team where, hey, we are together. We are on a path to win a championship. So maybe less videos about trade talks, but nonetheless, trades are a part of the business. So thank you guys for watching. Please let me know what you guys think of this video and any opinions that you have on the Spurs situation mid-year. We're doing a lot better than last year, but of course, as you know, there's plenty of opportunities to grow. So let me know what you guys think. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we will talk to you guys. Stay warm out there.